This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, and I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason. How's it
Hey,
going?
John. It's going fine. So
Great.
You had a good Christmas?
Oh, I did have a good Christmas. You did?
I did too. I love seeing my nieces.
Sweet.
Yeah. But now for this very last podcast of the year, I'm going to do something that I didn't think I'd be doing when I started out doing these podcasts.
And what's that?
See, that we actually talk about series from Tokyopop.
Tokyopop?
Yep.
Is this the same company that put out that Star Trek English manga thing? Anyway,
Yeah, I read the first volume. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah, didn't have a chance to even pick it up, but I think you actually told me that once, but yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be a horrible idea,
right?
But no, except for the story that actually tried to provide an origin for the Borg. It was actually better than I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not Star Trek that I'm here to talk about. But let me just talk about Tokyopop and its place in the in the manga industry, because really it's to say that these guys, they really if it wasn't for them, it's the manga industry would be a much different place than it is today, because they were the people who hit upon the idea of releasing unflipped, unretouched manga.
Yes.
At $10 a volume.
Mm-hmm.
And cause before then, what people would do is just they'd release standard American comic style. It's single issue format. That's how Dark Horse and Viz operated for years.
Mm-hmm.
The Tokyopop shows up, and they got all the cool titles. They got stuff from Clamp like Chobits. They got Great Teacher Onizuka. They got Love Hina. It's they got all this cool shit, and it's everyone wanted in on it. And then it's they created a new market, and they got manga into the bookstores in a big way. They surpassed all American comics, which is something that still happens, that's still true today. And while they're not top dog anymore, Viz basically is now running the show, thanks to Shonen Jump.
Mm-hmm.
It's their impact on the field is it's the stuff of legend. But the problem is though their tale is also one of excess as well, because while they found basically brought this new style of bringing manga to the masses, it's they also wind up oversaturating the market and overextending themselves to a certain extent. Because the problem is eventually it's now since manga and graphic novels in general are undergoing a bit of a contraction right now. It's when Tokyopop realized that, hey, you know what? Just because we publish X more amount of manga doesn't mean we're going to sell X more amount of sales, and that caused them to undergo restructuring a couple of years back. Now, they've emerged a leaner and meaner company, and they've managed to actually score some notable sales hits, which is impressive, because everyone's figuring that after Fruits Basket ended, what else were they going to sell? Well, they still have some, but the problem is that after their contraction, they've stopped being as adventurous. Now, when I say that, basically I say that Tokyopop today, they were not is still much less adventurous company than it was back in the days when they were flush with cash. I mean, the Tokyopop today would not have gone out on a limb and released stuff like Blame, Dragonhead, Shohei Manabe's Smuggler and Dead End, just all odd cult titles, stuff that doesn't appeal directly to the mainstream. Oh, and Makoto Yukimura's Planetus, great sci-fi manga. Yeah, the Tokyopop, and so the last Tokyopop title I bought was well over two and a half years ago when I picked up the last volume of the Kindaichi case files for a buddy of mine. And it's not that I'm anti-Tokyopop, it's just that they're just going after the youth market, it's the younger kids demographic, and they're not interested in catering to older titles or people who are looking for more stuff that's off the beaten track. Not that I can blame them, because that stuff doesn't sell. I understand that Viz is really only able to indulge in a lot of their signature titles because they've got the Shonen Jump cash cow to fall back on. And I've made my thoughts on Dark Horse's approach abundantly clear, but still, see, I was basically comfortable with if Tokyopop's not going to cater to me, then well, gee, it's I don't have to pay attention to them either. So that's the way it's continued for these past 2.5 years. Until now, that is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, because recently it's like they've released some stuff that I've actually felt compelled to take a look at. First of these series is called Hetalia: Axis Powers.
Mm.
Now, this series came to my attention through one of our mutual friends, Julia, right?
Mm.
Yeah, because she's been telling me about how funny this series is and how her kids, like she's a high school teacher and she helps oversee her school's anime club, are getting into it and how it's absolutely hilarious. So now the high concept behind Hetalia is that it's basically it anthropomorphizes all the major players in World Wars 1 and 2 into real people. So you got people with the personality traits of taking places of Germany, Japan, Italy, America, England, Russia. It's like all these characters have their own, basically shown like interacting as in the ways you expect them to, like in this time. It's kind of strange, but the end result is very, 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 very silly because it starts off ridiculously with all the in the nice full color section with all the characters talking to each other in some sort of peace conference, and then just gets worse from there because it starts off with towards the end of World War I with Germany venturing into Italy, expecting to find stiff resistance, but then finds Italy cowering in a tomato crate, and then once he realizes that it's like I've got this country around here, it's like he can't get rid of it because Italy is just a weak, pathetic, pasta loving hanger on, and because now and some might say that taking the most extreme.
Hello?
Uncomfortably racist in some situations. But the thing is, the mangaka Hidekazu Shimaruya does this for everyone. So it's Germany comes off as very, very, very strict and mean. Like Japan is very, very quiet and is very good with making miniatures. Russia, he's generally a nice guy except for the fact that he's got this psychotic streak a mile wide due to his history being bathed in blood. England is very prim and proper, but he's also got but apparently he also likes some holding demonic rituals to summon evil spirits and stuff, as well as sneaking around James Bond style. And America's the hero because he says he is, and he likes eating hamburgers and talking with his mouth full because that's the way we all are, right, John?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's ridiculous, it's silly, and if it sounds like there's not a whole lot of narrative consistency from when I'm describing it, that'd be about right. Because while it's essentially supposed to take place during the time of between World War I and II, it's done in a four panel style like Azumanga Daioh.
Right.
And there's not a whole lot of real narrative. There's no real narrative thread throughout these stories, besides just showing these countries bouncing off the walls as they interact with each other. I mean, it's interesting because and it's also true to. I also like his way Hiromuya incorporates a lot of history into these stories, such as when France wants to join Italy against Italy's wish. No, join England against England's wishes. It's actually based on this real event. It's fun. It's I like the fact it gives my knowledge of world history a real workout here. But like I said, I just wish there was a bit more coherence to it, and I also kind of wish that his art was a bit more clearly defined. Because I know this originally started off as a webcomic, which is all the more impressive that it made the transition to print and became as successful as it did. But I mean, his style is very sketchy, and while a lot of his characters are pretty distinct, there are some times when it's just it gets hard to tell them apart. And so So that just gets kind of tricky after a while. So really, it's like I'm kind of looking forward to the next volume, which is in the mail, and I will post a review of it later this week. But it's like I said, it's different, it's strange, it's different, it's weird, and it's also a big hit. It's spent several weeks top the New York Times manga bestseller chart. So it's like I want to see where he goes with this. And it's only 3 volumes long, but on one hand, it's like I can't say that I want to applaud Tokyopop for taking a risk in publishing something like this, because it was a major hit in Japan. Like, they're still making anime out of it. There's going to be another series premiering later this year, later next year. But it's just cool seeing something as strange as this become as successful as it has been. So yeah, so just right now it's like it's different. It's a good kind of different, but I want to see more before I make any kind of final decision on it. Still, it's like I won't say like believe the hype about what you've heard about it, but it's actually pretty good for what it is. All right, now the next title is something that I actually came across via Scanlation, because my buddy Lovin and I, one day we were looking through we were cruising over at Sankaku Complex, and we encountered the word yandere. Now most of you otaku out there will know what this word means, but we've always been a bit fuzzy about its exact meaning, so we decided to go, oh hey, TV Tropes has a definition of it. Let's go look it up. Okay. So we go over there and basically find out that it's basically like about a girl who loves her man so much that she will do anything in order to make sure that he stays with her, and it's like and loves her forever and ever and ever. Think of it like the anime equivalent of Glenn Close's character from Fatal Attraction. And once you know what apparently the picture they were used in the article was of a girl named Gasai Yuno, and Lovin goes, hey, I recognize her. She's from Mirai Nikki. And it's like, oh, what's that series? I never heard of it. It says, oh, so he goes over to this one Scanlation site and shows it to me. It's like, I'm reading this and I'm thinking, dude, this is actually pretty cool. So I was all set to keep reading it up through Scanlations until the site kept crashing on me. Then I started, oh, to hell with this. There's got to be another place that actually has these things on a much more stable engine. So I go over to let's see, Baka Updates, and I see, let's see, who's scaling this? Oh, wait, Tokyopop. Tokyopop's releasing this? So I quick check, and turns out that Mirai Nikki does have an English release under the title of Future Diary. So as soon as I found that out, I ordered a couple volumes off the Right Stuff, and I'm impressed. I think that it's a great ride so far, though I think that the track that it's on is probably not the best constructed of rides, but I definitely want to see more of this. Now, the series is basically best described as it's an inversion of the premise for Death Note. While that series had one guy getting a supernatural object allowed him to impose his will upon the world, this series it basically has a shy introverted kid getting a supernatural object that basically puts him at its mercy. Because let's see, the story's about this guy named Yukiteru, who he's just like a quiet, withdrawn high school kid who doesn't really have any friends except for the ones in his head. And this one friend turns out to be Deus, the god of space and time. And so when he's talking with Deus one day, he finds out that the god of space and time decided to spice things up by releasing 12 different diaries into the world, each revealing the future or certain aspects of it in their own way. Yukiteru's diary basically is based on his own cell phone diary, because he's always making a diary about his thoughts, his observations on the world around him. And this diary that he gets basically tells him the events of the future over the next 90 days. Yeah. And the problem is, though, what Deus neglects to tell him is that the goal for all these 12 diary users is to kill each other, so that the survivor will be Deus' successor and become the new god of space and time. Yukiteru gets a crash course in this once when he meets up with Miss Gasai, and gets a dead end notice on his future diary, which basically tells him that no, you are going to die because one of the other diary users is going to kill you. Now basically agrees to help him out because she is in love with him. She loves him so much that apparently she has a diary called the Yukiteru diary. Shows her everything that's going to happen to Yukiteru in 10-minute intervals. And by working together, they're able to defeat the diary user that wants to kill Yukiteru. And then the fun begins for real. Now, part of the fun is just seeing the harsh edge that mangaka Sakai Asuno takes with all this stuff. I mean, like, see, people die. Like the next people die. Lots of blood is shed. I mean, it's not a very happy story. It's just fun seeing. Actually, it's just fun seeing like all this twists have happened to just like everyday characters, especially Yukiteru. Because the thing is with Yukiteru, he's kind of a wimp. He's kind of like a big sloppy pussy. So, and it's like looking at this guy, it's like you just looking at him, it's like, and you kind of but it works because he's kind of a whiner. He doesn't know what to do in a lot of situations, and so it's fun. I love seeing what horrible thing is gonna happen to him, because it's like in ways most of these stories would go. I mean, the happy way would be that he's this kid who's forced to start interacting with the world, and then finds out that oh no, it's not such a bad place after all. With Yukiteru, he's forced to start interacting with the world and finds out that oh wait, it's far more horrible than I could have ever imagined. So it's just fun seeing his lot in the series go from bad to worse to oh god, why can't I die? So it's just fun, and so it's fun for me. I love seeing what new fresh hell is going to awaits him. It's like in each volume, and also just like seeing what Yuno is going to do in order to protect him, because I mean her endeavors to protect him have led to her setting off a bunch of motion sensing bombs in her school, chopping up a whole bunch of crazy cultists, and also just finding the revelation of like, oh wait, she lives in a house with no electricity and has dead bodies in a room as well, which Yukiteru does not adjust well to. Now, the problem with all this is like, well, as good, like I said, as much as I like to know want to know what's happening next, there's some parts of it that make me think that Masuno is just kind of like flying by the seat of her pants in terms of plotting out the series. Now, if Death Note was overly planned out, Future Diary is just kind of like. There are times when I feel like she's just kind of that Suno is just kind of reacting to whatever occurs to her at the time, such as I don't know, such as the Deus Ex Machina that's introduced at the beginning of Volume 3 that allows them to escape from the crazy cult leader, and also some of the contrivances that they go through in order to defeat in their battle against the fifth diary user in Volume 3 as well. I mean, it's some of this stuff does strain plausibility, but that's kind of expected with something as outlandish as this. But still, it's like I want to keep reading, and if I had remembered to, I should have remembered to order more of this stuff when I was placing my orders with Amazon earlier. But it's like, hey, I got 10 volumes have been released in the U.S. so far, and I'm definitely looking forward to catching up. I can only hope that that we get to see more storytelling logic and coherence as the series goes on. So, but still, it's something I enjoy, and like I can only hope that 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 at least doesn't wind up that when I'm done with it doesn't wind up in my to sell pile like Death Note did. Yep. Okay. And it's like on that note, well, I would like to say like I'd like to see Tokyopop release more esoteric stuff, but it's like I don't think that's going to happen until the market turns around and things start growing again.
Right.
But until then, hey, at least I got two series. At least we're putting out two series that I like to read. So, all right. And on that note, it's like we're gonna call it a night. We'll see you next time in 2 weeks for my thoughts on the 10 best comics of last year.
All right. We'll catch you next time.
Right.
Bye.
Laters.